I made around 110 off one single video. It was more than 10 million views, but
Wow.
yeah,
110K.
yeah.
Dude,
That was pretty much almost all the profit from like my entire year of TikTok. But when you're being the most original is when I see the most people have success. I'm like, dude, just look at the stuff you use day to day and like just look at the market from there. Because any product could get you to $1 million. Any product. Doesn't matter. The playing field is insanely fair right now, dude. Like you could be a really small brand and just kill it. And like kill all these 8-figure, 9-figure brands in the same marketplace as you. Which we've seen already.
Once you get that skill, like you could take that anywhere. You could take that TikTok to whatnot to anywhere. If you can get attention and drive sales, you're super valuable in any marketplace, really. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Side Hustle Experiment podcast. Today we have Varocreates with us. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys taking the time.
yeah, so give us a little intro, man. What do you do? How'd you get started? That type of stuff.
Yeah, so Varocreates, formerly known as FBA Rookie. Probably most people know me more about that username. But I did Amazon, started back in 2022. I did 7 figures in 2023. Then I stopped mid of last year, around June, I want to assume, just because of all the stuff that was happening with groceries. I was heavy into wholesale groceries. And once all those fees started rolling out, I just couldn't maintain the profit margins anymore. And also, last year in March is when I started doing TikTok Shop Affiliate. Also, Amazon Influencer Program. I was just dabbling in other businesses, seeing what would work. And TikTok seemed to be the best thing that worked out for me. Did 5K in profit that first month. Then I ended up doing a 100K 30 days in commission.
Oh, wait, the 100K like gross value or whatever. Is that what it's called? GMV?
No, in commission. So it's like pure profit in 30 days with
Holy
TikTok.
shit. Okay,
Yeah.
so wait, talk about that. That's
All right, go
we
back.
always talk on here about like these 6-figure P&L like month things on TikTok. So you're one of these guys. So walk through that. I'm sure that people love to hear that stuff.
Yeah, it was insane because it was pretty quick for me. What made it happen for me was holidays. I was like heavy into holidays like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and stuff like that. Holidays are really great on TikTok. I started out doing live streams, which is kind of funny because I made 6 figures with videos. I didn't do no live streams. But the first month I did, I think around 40 hours. I wish I could go back and like have a timestamp of hours I put in because I truly do not know. It could have been 20 hours. It could have been 100 hours. But I did 5K in profit, which I was like, okay, this works. Then after like 2 months, that's when I started transitioning into videos. And that's when I went pretty viral. I did about 10 million views on one video. And I have multiple videos around that 4 or 5 million.
So how much do you make off a video with 10 million views?
10 million, it was around, I wish I could look exactly. Just because I hate how TikTok has it. I can't look at analytics from previous of 6 months. Like if I look at it now, I can only look at 6 months analytics. I've been trying to get analytics for like time prior, but I made around 110 off one single video. It was more than 10 million views, but
Wow.
yeah,
110K.
yeah.
Dude,
That was pretty much almost all the profit from like my entire year of TikTok, which I mean, that's like a lot of people that go viral with TikTok.
is that what you were shooting? Oh, go ahead, John. Maybe you're about to
What,
ask.
okay, so what was the process for that? So a lot of people are going to hear that, and maybe this is the case, that you did one video, you made 110 grand. Like almost maybe walk through the process. Like I'm somewhat familiar with TikTok because I'm doing it too.
Yeah.
Like I'm guessing that wasn't your first video. So like almost
No.
how many videos did you do prior to that? Was that like, one of 30 of the same product? Like kind of walk through that a little bit.
Oof. I don't know how many videos I did prior to that. I know it was about a month prior. That's when I started like pushing heavy videos. But it's funny because like after that big commission month of rolling 30 days, because it wasn't like a real month. It was like between May and the month after May. So it was like between there, like end of May, start of the next month is when I had that big profit. I kind of like fucked off for the next couple months, being realistic. Then I was like, shit, I should like start doing more videos. And that's when I started doing a lot more inputs. Like I started uploading almost 30 videos a day. But then again, like I wasn't having the same amount of outputs, right? I didn't hit another 100K month. So I kind of stepped back. I kind of thought about the process of doesn't matter on how much videos you put out, it matters more about the quality, which is kind of like the opposite of what most people say, especially in the TikTok space. They're like every video you post is a lottery ticket, which I disagree just because if you post a shitty video, like it's not gonna go viral, right? You're not gonna make profit out of it. But yeah, to answer your question, I really do not know how many videos prior to that I made.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's the misconception is that it's me and John have talked about this before. Of like it's just lucky to do that, but like if it was like that, then why wouldn't you just post 200 videos a day and then you'd be a millionaire, right? Well,
Exactly.
it's all about like the quality. Was there anything that was different between those viral videos? Did you not like get it down to a science of like I can recreate these in the future?
Yeah, so honestly, what happened with like the most viral video is I started applying it to like videos I do now, and like when I talk to creators, I always just say try to be original. So if you didn't know, TikTok slideshows was a big thing back then. I was never able to do it, never. And I put a twist to it. I couldn't do a slideshow, so I pretty much did a video, but in a slideshow format. So it was like an actual video, but I put pictures. So that pretty much like made me more original in a way because I couldn't do slideshows, so I ended up like making my own style. And that's why I tell people now too, because even with my brand now that I have, we ended up going really viral in December. And it was probably because of me. My videos were the most viral videos, and it was an original video. I saw a clip that I liked. I started making videos out of it. Then eventually, now a lot of people copy that style because it does really good. But when you're being the most original, is when I see the most people have success.
Yeah. Do you still do it now?
I'm starting to do it now just because things are a little slower with the brand. So now I'm getting back into the creative process, which I like. It's fine.
Let's move on to the brand. I want to hear about this. So you have a is it mouth tape or nose? What is which one is it?
Yeah, it's a combo pack. So it's a mouth tape and a nasal strip.
Okay, talk a bit about that because I've tried a lot of those. I got on that because I snore really bad at night, so that's the type of product that I needed in the past. So, what made you have that idea, and then how's that went for you?
So I made the idea just because I actually used mouth tape prior. Like 6 months prior, I was actually mouth taping. I'm hella into like the biohacking space. Whatever that seems like it could help my sleep or just my day-to-day functions, I really give it a shot. And I saw that like the market just had a big gap of cost versus sell price, which is fine at the end of the day. These businesses have to make money, but like I'm fully against of a business really like I feel like people are gonna get mad, but like when they're overcharging their customers, in my honest opinion. Obviously, value is just depends on what the person will pay. So if a person pays $50 for it, that's what it's worth. But I disagree with that, right? I think there's a healthy margin of a business is happy with this price and the customer's happy paying this price. And that's why I stepped into the business just because I feel like a lot of people are overcharging when they shouldn't.
Yeah, here's there. What's the how does yours price, and then how many come with it, that type of thing.
Yeah, so mine's same thing, a month supply. It comes with 30 mouth tapes, 30 nasal strips, and it's around goes on sale sometimes for $10, but it's around $10 to $12 normally. And just to give you a perspective, the biggest brand in the marketplace charges $45 for that bundle.
Yeah, I was about to say that's super cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are your margins good on that?
Yeah, it's healthy. Like even giving away 20% commission on TikTok, our margins are still over 20%.
Wow, that's impressive.
Wow.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
That's crazy. So, what made you want to go almost? So, are you shooting to be like one of the lowest price and just go based on volume?
Yeah, so now obviously I think about marketing a little differently. It doesn't matter about your price at the end of the day. If you could market your product as a premium product, you could pretty much price it at whatever you want. But it's just more about trying to give this access of mouth tape to everybody. That's kind of my plan, right? If everybody tries it, they'll like it, and if we're the best price with the best quality too. So going back, our quality is better than like the top mouth tape. We're made out of silk. Everybody else is made out of cotton.
Yeah. So, all right. So, you is this like a passionate thing? Like you didn't just make this because you just thought mouth tape be profitable. You like are kind of passionate about this type of thing.
Yeah, 100%. That's why like everything that we have like 5 brands in the pipeline right now between me and my friends. Not all just me because I don't think I can handle all that, but pretty much everything like I'm fully passionate about that I know a lot about the business, a lot about the product because when I use the product or I have friends and family that use the product.
Yeah. So, what do you think that you think most people should start like that? I know me and John, we were going to start a private label thing, and that was the person that we hired to coach us. He had mentioned stuff like that of like, you guys need to find something that you love because you're probably gonna have to work on this a lot, and it might not go well like super fast. So you need to be able to like wake up in the morning and be passionate about it. You think that's attributed a lot to the success?
100%. Whenever someone asks me like, "Hey, I want to start private label," they're like, "What product should I start?" I'm like, "Dude, just look at the stuff you use day to day, and like just look at the market from there. Because any product could get you to $1 million. Any product doesn't matter. Even $10 million, honestly, any product. So like, don't try to be the next. Don't try to make the next Facebook or something like that. You could get $10 million from any product.
Yeah. So walk through your process a bit of like, how did this all start? Did you started with use the mouth tape? What's like the first step of like a A to Z process, kind of like how would somebody go about, like they have something they're using a lot. They don't love the
Yeah.
price. They don't love the quality. I got to make this better.
So obviously the basics is just search up on Alibaba, try to find some manufacturers. If you can, go US made, because at the end of the day, customers like stuff that's made in the US. That's just a known fact. But yeah, try to get a manufacturer from Alibaba. Try to work on pricing. Always try to get 3 to 5 manufacturers, in my honest opinion. Get samples and just use them as competition on, like, hey, this manufacturer's giving me this price. This manufacturer's giving me this price. Can you beat this price? Because the first thing you should be doing as a business is trying to lower your COGS. I'm pretty sure you guys know, obviously, in the Amazon space, pretty much the same thing. Because you don't want to lower your price. It's better to lower your COGS. Then at that point, you could try to lower, like, let's just say with TikTok commissions. Then at a certain point, that's when I try to lower price. But trying to, like, lower the price from this jump, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, interesting. And then and talk about the commission people. Like so you hire creators, you have those on the brand as well that like sell your products for you, right?
Yeah.
So how does that exactly work?
So we launched back in November. It was a really small team, like maybe 9 people, and all of them were my friends, which was pretty cool because when we blew up, quote unquote, we didn't do anything crazy, but we sold out. When we sold out back in December, it was still pretty much all my friends. So it was great because I was making money, they were making money, and they got bonuses because I had a GMV structure. But now we're barely starting to do outreach. We're paying out retainers. We just paid out about like 15,000 worth in retainers. If you don't know what a retainer is, a brand will pay you a flat fee to post a certain amount of videos during a certain amount of calendar month.
It's awesome. You got to get Hormozy, man. That's the top creator, right? You get him to use your brand, you'll be rich immediately.
That's where people. I feel like it's gonna be changing soon. The creator economy is gonna be changing. Now brands are gonna be seeing that it's not worth hiring Hormozy or hiring Logan Paul or hiring anybody with like a mega influencer to promote your brand. It's better to hire a 15-year-old that's living with their mom because they know how to go viral. Because that's the main point on TikTok. If you know how to go viral, you could charge anything on these brands, being realistic.
Interesting. So you like the strategy of maybe hiring like 40 creators, like each maybe $1,000 a piece, then spending 40K on one guy.
100%. I totally agree. Maybe Hormozy's, maybe he's the one that's like, okay, maybe I won't just because he doesn't promote a ton of products. Yeah, it aligns with him.
Yeah,
he's not a sellout, quote unquote, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess a lot of these people, they promote so many products. You're going to pay them and people are going to be like, whatever. They just promoted something else yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What else you got, John?
So you mentioned you sold out. So how did that work? Like, if you want to get into the financials, how much you might have made or whatever. If you don't, that's fine too.
So we initially started off, I think our PO from this jump was about almost 20,000. I think it was 18,000, including shipping and everything. That was for almost 6,000 units. We sold 1,000 units our first month. Then we ended up selling out the rest the second month in December. That's when we sold out. I think we got paid out. I have to look again, but it was almost 60. It was like 58 or 57.
Oh, so nice ROI on that.
Yeah, but from there, obviously, we had a campaign going on. So, like, if you hit 1,000 GMV, you get this. If you hit 2,000 GMV, you get that. So I had to buy like some iPhones, some AirPods. Nothing crazy. It didn't hurt that much, but it's still nice buying those stuff just because at the end of the day, I'm a consumer. I like buying stuff.
Yeah. So you started with Amazon. You're an FBA guy, right? It seems like how young are you? You seem like you're young. Are you young?
I look pretty young, but I'm 23. But still pretty young.
That's young. We were just talking. You're probably the youngest person we've ever had on the pod. We've had like one other guy that's 23. But it seems like you went through a fast change of like doing FBA and then going to TikTok shop and then doing this. Like, how did you even stay focused with this stuff and like stick to something long enough to get this like massive, brand that you're building now?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you that it was just like me actually sticking through it, but I just had success pretty quickly. I mean, some of it might be luck at the end of the day. I'm not going to give all credit to myself. But when I started Amazon, private label was always in mind. I always said I wanted to start a private label brand. It was a little harder back then with Amazon because at the end of the day, you're competing versus these 8-9 figure brands, depending on what you're launching, that have crazy amount of ad spend. Like, I'm not going to be able to get keyword. I'm not going to be able to get ranked if I don't have this type of budget. Now I can, because with TikTok, you get the natural spillover, and there's multiple brands who've done it before, like Evil Goods, for example. They did 2 million in a single month with TikTok, and that spillover you get from Amazon is just insane. Now they're removed from Amazon, but they're doing like 1.5 million months on Amazon consistently with like no ad spend, by what I know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Do you think this TikTok shop's the future? or do you think that it'll slow down or shut down anytime soon?
This is why I tell people TikTok Shop's still so early. It's about 2 years in, but the way that online money moves is just crazier now. So think about Amazon FBA 2 years in. It was insane, right? But like right now, it's like Amazon 5 years in, just because how quick stuff moves. So the quicker you are, the better. Obviously, like right now, even with ad spends on TikTok, you're getting crazy returns. Like we're getting a 13 ROAS, a 10 ROAS, which is insane. Like that's insane, godly amount. But obviously, as time goes on, those returns will dwindle down just because that's how the market is. It adjusts. But I do think it's the future. At the end of the day, Instagram's coming out with their affiliate program soon. It's already in beta. We have one creator in there, which is going to be great. But yeah, I think the creator economy is the future. I honestly think like when you say UGC, that has a connotation to it of hey, you get paid out. Let's just say $400 for one single video, and you send it to the brand. That's the connotation UGC has. But UGC is the same thing as TikTok. But I think that form of UGC is going to die down really soon. Probably in the next, I'll place a bet. I'll probably say in the next 2 years it'll die down because brands are really slow to catch on, especially the brands who have 7 figures, 8 figure budgets.
Speak on that a little more. What do you mean that it'll die down?
I think it'll die down because brands will eventually find out you could pay a 15-year-old $500 for 30 videos, and that has more chances of going viral. At the end of the day, these UGC creators, when they create content, they're not trying to go viral. Like in the connotation that we know, right? Like of a person getting paid $100 for one single video. Your goal is not to go viral. Your goal is just to complete the process they give you. The brand limits you on creativity because they give you a format on how you need to create the video. And eventually they'll find out that it's not worth it. That's why I think right now is a great time to launch a private label brand because I feel like I have an edge versus every single brand. But obviously budget wise, their budget is way bigger than me. But brands are really slow to adapt.
Yeah, that's
I would agree with you too because I used to work in marketing, and it's always the same thing. Like we work with like Coca-Cola, like these huge brands, and like this is in the back in the day when like Twitter and Facebook were new, and they were like afraid to run a Facebook. Like it was just crazy to think about like now. But I do think you're right with these UGC retainer deals and stuff like that. I think a lot of these brands just have these huge budgets, and the content for them is more branding. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, walk around your kitchen, like do like wake up with me video, and like that's really not driving sales per se. But I think for me, if I had like a company, I'd rather be like, hey, if you hit 100K in sales, or let's say 500,000 in sales, like I'll buy you a Cybertruck, and then let everyone go like fight over it, right? You
Yeah.
see goalie giving away like penthouses in Brickell, Miami. It's like, okay, like everyone's gonna want to do a shot of that. Or I'm in a group and people are doing the goalie challenge and they're like, I made 30 videos and none of them have taken off. And it's like, that's great for goalie because that's 30 videos they didn't have to pay for. So
Exactly.
I definitely agree that I think that's the way it's gonna go.
What? How does your structure look for your like GMV rewards and stuff?
So Jim Reward, I think we have it starting at 1,000 and it caps out at 500,000. Just because we base it on inventory as well, right? Like I'm not gonna put $1 million GMV, but if we don't have inventory for $1 million, then kind of just lying to the affiliates. But I also want to say, like obviously I keep saying like I know 15, like I think he's 16. I could be wrong. He's 16 or 17. He just hit 160K profit in December. Now obviously that's profit, not GMV. But I will say, it's not like he's doing that every single month, right? Unlike Amazon, you could easily do not easily, but like very simple to do 5K, 10K consistent profit months. But I will say, for me to hit 100K profit in a single month, I do not have that capital. I do not have $500,000 to invest in inventory, right? So it was just literally impossible for me to do it, even with credit cards. And plus, I don't recommend over leveraging yourself, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But that's why I like TikTok as opportunity. And there's also like grandmas doing insane. I just recently know about this grandma that did 50K in profit in a single month. As a grandma, I mean, like it's just insane to me.
Yeah, I talk a lot about on here of like these different business models and stuff that has exponential returns that don't require exponential inputs, which is like Amazon
Yeah.
the exact opposite. For you to get outputs, you have to put in a lot of inputs. But with the TikTok stuff, man, even if you made no money all year and you made 160 grand in December, you're going to have more money in your bank account than any Amazon seller probably doing 500,000 in profit, 600K in profit, which is just really ridiculous. I don't think people understand like that kind of opportunity there. But it seems like you definitely do. You're a big proponent of that, it seems.
Yeah, and it's funny because I see like a lot of Amazon FBA guys just saying like, "Oh, I love when people talk about TikTok Shop. I'm an Amazon influencer program because that just leaves more money for us." And I'm just like, "What don't you get in your head? You know, like obviously at the end of the day, you could sell Amazon business even if you have brand directs. But what's your multiple? Maybe 2x. I mean, like I honestly don't know, but I don't think your multiple will be more than 4. It's
Yeah.
impossible for your multiple to be more than 4. And in my opinion, I think multiples on TikTok haven't peaked yet. I think one business has sold, words going around, but that's not confirmed. But multiples on TikTok haven't peaked yet. I think give it another year, and that's when the multiples will peak, where people are like PE, VCs are going to start going into TikTok buying these brands that started on TikTok. Because multiple brands have started on TikTok that are now doing half a million months, $1 million months, which is insane.
Yeah, I
I
bet the
totally
multiple.
agree with you because I see that all the time. And it's the people who do say that, they all have groups, courses, software, stuff like that. So it's in their interest to say that. Like, I don't really, I'm getting DMs from people like, a couple of people send me DMs like, "Oh, do you know how I could sell my Amazon account?" Like on the DL, there's like a lot of different stuff going on, and so I 100% agree with you when people are like, "Oh yeah, like I hope everyone leaves. Like, thank you so much." Like I think they're totally gaslighting most people.
Yeah, I think the multiple thing is interesting. I haven't thought about that. I guess if a company can come in with millions of dollars and just do what you do, except for they pay out 10 times the people, like, yeah, you could really, people are going to get big multiples for these brands. Probably I
Oh,
don't know what
100%.
COVID times were, but you're probably looking at stuff like that.
Yeah. But I think by what I know, peak Amazon was like 8x. I might be totally wrong. Obviously, I just hear this from friends and
Damn.
people, so obviously information could be totally wrong, but I think it was 8x, 6 or 8x.
Yeah, that,
Someone was talking about that the other day. Basically, like all these private label or not private label, but the private equity people were just like buying up all these Amazon companies, and like most of them are like bankrupt now. Like they were given ridiculous money, and now they're out of business, which is kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah. Well, what else? What else we got here? What else you got, John?
Yeah, so you talked about kind of, I guess, in your head, you launched on TikTok rather than Amazon, and you knew, how to sell on Amazon. Do you plan to take it on Amazon, or why did you
So,
launch how you did?
um, I found out after the fact mouth tape's actually banned on Amazon. That's why the competition was very low. Obviously, I looked at the competition. I was like, oh damn, there's nothing. I could easily do really good in this category, but it's banned. So it's banned because it's still like in the gray area. A lot of doctors recommend it. Some doctors completely hate it and they think it doesn't do nothing. At the end of the day, it's a known fact. Nasal breathing helps. However you do focusing on nasal breathing, that's on you. But yeah, it's banned. So really can't. Not trying to risk my Amazon account, especially because the products that we are going to launch are going to be on Amazon. So that should be fun.
Convince us on the mouth breathing stuff. I got into it a bit, so I'm already pretty convinced. But what's your give us some like health information there? I used to use 3M tape, which is obviously not the best thing to put
Yeah.
on your face, but I think that's the best option at the time I was doing it. It's like that's all you had.
Yeah, it's 100% the cheapest option. It's micropore tape, so it's not terrible to put on your skin at the end of the day, but I have sensitive skin. But obviously, we know that your nose has a whole filtration system that your mouth just doesn't. So when you're breathing through your mouth, you're a lot more, you get sick a lot easier, and you're breathing in stuff that you're not supposed to be realistic. Just because your nose has a whole filtration system called the microbiome.
Yeah, but so what? So what's the important part about like why the mouth tape? Why is it important at night, or do you use it throughout the day as well?
I sometimes use it when I'm working out, actually, which is, I'm trying to promote it like that. I think that's a new hook, but why use it when sleeping? Because there's research, but I'm not going to say it's going to 100% change your facial structure.
It
It could
may.
improve your jawline at the end of the day because if your mouth breathing, your mouth's always going to be open at night. And it also, there's research on that, but I'm not going to claim that at the end of the day. I'm just going to say it's better. You get better REM sleep when you're breathing through your nose. I know that for a fact. I have an Aura Ring. I have a Garmin watch. I've tried Whoop. I've tried every single device, and my sleep has been better because I tested this out multiple times in the R&D phase.
Yeah, it seems like a crazy thing though. Whenever I tell people, now I have a snoring problem, so I use a CPAP now. But back when I was doing that, I would tell people about it, and they're just like, "What? You're taping your mouth? Aren't you going to choke and die?" And I'm like, "Not the way it works, man. Like you're going to wake up before you choke. That's not going to happen."
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it's catching on. The good thing about that is that the whole mewing and that kind of thing, which I'm sure you're referring to, that's kind
Yeah.
of like a super hot thing, like the looks maxing. So you're kind of positioned really well. Do you have other products in that like ecosystem that you plan on launching, or is it separate from that?
Not specifically. We're launching something in the pet niche, which I think is really great. One, because if you don't care about your actual product, dogs cannot talk. So dogs cannot be like, hey, this actually helped me. That's obviously unethical, but I'm just saying we're actually focusing on our formula and stuff like that. But I'm just saying that's an easy target to hit just because people spend more money on other people than themselves, especially their dogs, and dogs can't talk and give feedback. So
If you're still listening to the podcast at this point, you are into it and a fan, and we really appreciate that. If you could do us a solid and like, subscribe, and do all that stuff, it really helps the podcast grow. And secondly, if you could tag us on Instagram, just take a picture of what part you are at the podcast. If you like it, tell us what you think about it. Tag me at Side Hustle Experiment, and I will definitely share it. Now let's get back to the podcast.
So you were talking about the pets. They can't give you feedback. That's interesting. But is it going to be under the same brand name? That doesn't seem like it falls under the same umbrella.
oh no, there's a completely different brand. For new SKUs, I'm thinking about launching something that will help you sleep. So like magnesium, that's like known to help you sleep. I think that'll be a good branch off SKU. But for the same brand, probably that's the only SKU that I'm thinking about. Everything else that we're gonna launch is gonna be a completely different brand.
Yep. Well, I would love to talk more business stuff, but I like the health stuff a lot. So I want to hear more of you're in the biohacking thing. So what are some other things? I know it's hard top of your head as well, but
Yeah.
what kind of stuff besides that you recommend for people to implement or problems they might have that they don't know about?
Barefoot shoes, obviously I recommend. Everybody knows like the basic supplements, magnesium, creatine, a B12, vitamin D. I'm trying to think about products that I use. I think about this a lot, but blue light glasses, I use that a lot. I was thinking about launching those, but the market's just not really huge. It's oversaturated with like a lot of fakes on Amazon, and they're like $5 for a 2 pack. Really hard to compete unless you really make yourself as a premium product. And it's not really like a big market that I think you will get a big multiple for. So not really interested in launching that. But blue light glasses, I use that every single night. Don't use AirPods. Use purely connected.
I was literally about to say, is I use the wired headphones.
Yeah.
I always hear that's like really bad for your brain and stuff and your ears for that. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I gotta stop using them then.
Yeah, I've heard that. I saw someone making some prediction about how that's going to be like the thing about our generation that we're going to look back and be like, I can't believe we did that. Like cigarettes back in the 40s of like all the like what is it? Explain that a little bit. The EMFs, right?
Yeah, it's the EMFs. Honestly, I was talking about this with my friend Carter recently. I was telling him like, dude, at the end of the day, like I want to be healthy, but if I'm doing something and I enjoy it, or like if I wear something and I enjoy it, I'm trying to get the maximum amount of life fulfillment wise, not just like length wise. I'm not trying to be here for so long, right? So like let's just say my watch. It's not recommended for me to wear it because the EMF's on this too, but like I want to wear it, especially because it'll give me my steps, it'll give me my calories burnt, it tracks everything from my sleep, it's just for my fulfillment wise, I think it's worth it. So obviously there's always some shortcuts. Same thing with drinking. Like some people say there's studies that actually does help, but there's multiple studies that not even a single drink a week helps. No type of alcohol helps. So by the end of the day, like you're trying to be here for a good time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And the drinking thing, that is a tough one because it's like, yeah, it's poison. But also, I'd saw someone that was a doctor talking about if you have a lot of anxiety, if you have a lot of stress, having drinks before bed can like improve your entire life because you're not stressed out and hindering your sleep and that type of thing when you just have a few glasses of wine. So it's always like a little give and take. When it is funny though, because all the content guys, it's like this way or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost never like that.
It's funny I wanted to speak on like the software side of things just because TikTok's still so new. Like now there's a bunch of softwares being made, like that I personally know of. And it's insane because we all know about the Amazon space. I forgot what company was buying all the softwares. What company was it? You guys should know.
Colts.
Yeah, like they're buying, I mean, they're still buying most of the softwares, right? As much as they can. But I mean, that's where you're going to get the most amount of multiples, in my opinion. Like that's going to be insane. I'm really trying to get on the side of that, but.
You have any ideas there?
I have some ideas. I have a friend that actually has the software already, and he launched something else. He has a outreach bot, which is pretty cool. It's called Uptick. It's nice for brands because obviously trying to onboard affiliates is hard. So that it's an automated message. Like it sends them a message, and it sends like for me, it sends out 2,000 messages every single day, and I get great conversions on it. All those affiliates have made over 10 to 100 grand in a single month, GMV wise, because the metrics based on GMV, not commission.
Oh, interesting. Oh, and I wanted to ask earlier. So when I was talking about the commission structure, your GMV, what are your rewards? Like, what do you give people at the 1,000? If somebody gets 500 grand, what are you buying them?
So they get 20% commission, and I think the 1,000 is some AirPods. All the way to the highest is 500,000. They could pick a
The irony,
Cybertruck or an M4.
the irony of the AirPods in the first one. Sorry, I interrupted you
I
there.
got I gotta switch it up, huh? I gotta make
You
it
gotta get
wired.
some wire.
Has anyone gotten close to the Cybertruck or the M4?
Not yet, dude. It's because so let me try to break down the storyline a little bit. So November we launched, we sold out December. I had inventory already coming in, but my supplier fucked up the inventory, so it caused us to be sold out the entire month of January pretty much. Then we came back March and we've been doing 30K months pretty consistent since then. But like we did 60K in December. 60K from, I mean, a 30K is pretty big drop, a 50% drop. And it's hard getting it pushed out because we had momentum. It was moving quickly. Then once you sell out, these affiliates look at you like, okay, one, you don't have enough inventory. Why would I promote you? Because if I promote you and I go viral, you're gonna sell out. Then I'm gonna be missing sales. But like now we got a shit ton of inventory, really trying to push it out. But hopefully someone does get close to it. Obviously, no one has gotten close to it yet. I think the highest person is at 15K GMV.
That's not bad.
And he's actually an Amazon seller, which is funny.
That's interesting.
That's funny.
Do
So
you have-
where?
oh, go ahead, John.
I was gonna say. So how does it work? One, does like TikTok take a fee like Amazon does, and are you fulfilling this stuff? Are you sending it to like a TikTok warehouse? Like, how does all that work?
Yeah, so TikTok does take a fee. Right now, it's really low compared to Amazon. I think it's 8% or 7%. And they always have incentives. Like if you hop on now, maybe they don't have it no more. But when I hopped on, they were doing like 2% fee for your first like 30 days or something like that. So they're always throwing incentives. Obviously, at the start, the incentives are insane. Like my friend was telling me back then, almost all his orders were covered by TikTok, which was insane. Like TikTok was just giving out free money to these customers, which they still do sometimes, but not as much because they were just trying to get it rolling. They're trying to stop burning money so much, pretty much. Fulfillment wise, I got a 1PL. I'm trying to build that up. Looking at bigger warehouses now because everybody in the TikTok space is really bullish on live streams. I'm not. I'm fully against it, to be honest. That's my bet. I don't think live streams will be as big as they say, but I'm not trying to be left behind. So trying to get some warehouse. I'm trying to get a warehouse with a few offices to run live streams for the multiple brands that we're gonna have.
Are you interested? Why do you not think that live stream thing? Because I actually one thing I thought that was going to be huge, but you probably have better insight than I do on it.
It's big in China, so that's why I think it'll be big here. But in my opinion, people love scrolling, and I don't really make bets online. I'm trying to start doing that more, but I think Amazon's gonna eventually die down slowly. Obviously, it's hard for Amazon to die down, quote unquote. But in my opinion, I think this is how TikTok's gonna eventually do it. If you see a product that you like on a video, you see the functionality, you see the product enhanced, you're like, okay, I know what I'm getting low returns right there. And when you're checking out, I think they're gonna start offering you like, hey, do you need toilet paper, toothpaste, this, that. We're like, it's not gonna make sense for a creator to make a video on toilet paper, but they're gonna have it as add-ons. So at the end of the day, you can get the basic necessities you need, and it's always gonna be at the checkout screen. I think they're gonna do something like that, in my honest opinion. I don't have no insights, but I just think the video platform is gonna keep growing, and people are gonna keep buying from videos. You know, at the end of the day, you go on Amazon when you know you want to buy something. You go on TikTok not knowing if you're gonna buy something or not. Same thing with Instagram, but their algorithm is not as good yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think TikTok does actually a really good job because I bought some stuff on TikTok to promote and try to get the feel for some things. And usually at the end, it's kind of confusing because it's like, oh, to get free shipping, you need to spend, I don't know what it is. It's like 40 or $50 or whatever.
Yeah,
But they're like, if I added this water bottle, they're like, oh, well, that doesn't count. And then all of a sudden you have a cart full of like, I don't know, let's call it 10 things, and like only 3 are qualifying for each one. But it does get you to buy more stuff because, like, the other day, I really wanted this like camera mount that I saw someone post for my DJI, and that's all I wanted. But then it was like, oh, to get free shipping, so I ended up buying like this Bluetooth speaker and like 2 other things that like I didn't even really want, but I was like, whatever. So I do think you're right, and I do. It almost seems like going on TikTok for me as a consumer is just fun because like you're looking at something and you're like, holy shit, like that thing Drew has, that looks amazing. Like I need that in my life. Like I need to be able to open 20 bottles of alcohol within 30 seconds, right? Like you don't need it, but like at the
yeah.
second you're like, oh, this is amazing. And I think it's like very impulsive. Um, The only issue I have with it is the shipping is brutal. It
I
takes
agree.
like 10 days, and then I don't know if it's a China thing or whatever, but you probably know. You literally just get a poly bag. No matter what you buy, like whether it's glass or it doesn't matter, you literally get
Yeah,
this like a trash bag and all your items are in it. I ordered 10 things
yeah.
once.
That's normally
And
like
it
if it's
comes through this
FBT and stuff
bag.
like
It's
that.
crazy. And then yeah, it's funny though.
Yeah,
It's
it's normally
really
if it was
not.
like FBT, they have fulfilled by TikTok, which in my opinion, I think they partnered up with Amazon for that, just because to offer 3 day delivery 2 years into a platform's pretty crazy in my head. Eventually, it'll be same day delivery or 1 day delivery. That's when it's actually going to be good because at this point, I'll be honest, if something's not like same day delivery, I'm not ordering it from Amazon. Like I got so spoiled with it to be honest. So I need it same day or even next day. I'm questioning to order it. Just being honest.
Yeah. So when you're looking at these customers you're acquiring, you like the viral stuff, you want the viral videos, but do you focus on more lifetime value or acquiring new customers? Because I feel like, especially with your product where it's low cost, I mean, you could sell it to everybody and you wouldn't make as much as you selling it to like a tenth of the people, for 5 years of their life. So how do you look at that type of thing, or do you even look into that?
Yeah, I the way I look at it is as long as I'll have bigger lifetime LTV if everybody tries it, right? Because it might be a smaller percentage that keeps buying it, but like per number wise, it's gonna be bigger. That's why I made it cheap so everybody could try it, and the ones that reorder will be nice, especially now because they have subscribe and save on TikTok. It's slowly rolling out, but once we get it, I think it's gonna be huge.
How many people? What do you know your LTV right now?
Honestly, though, I think we only have like 200 people that repurchase on TikTok, and Shopify is slowly building up. We haven't ran no meta ads. We're trying to get that built up, but we have like $200 or $300 the last 60 days on Shopify, which is purely inbound, like no outbound.
Yeah, dude, that if you're doing those months with like nobody repurchasing, yeah, that's gonna just like parabolically go up because you're
Yeah,
gonna get so many people that just keep reordering or like, "Hey, I'm gonna get a year's supply or whatever." Yeah, that's
dude,
sweet.
we barely started adding multi packs. We added a 2 pack, a 3 pack, and a 6 pack. It's been insane. Like our AOV has increased by like 40%. I want to say.
Yeah, I would get the biggest pack you had if I like the thing, which like if it had good reviews, I wouldn't even have to try it. I'd probably get the
Yeah,
biggest thing. So I'd say up, and that's probably gonna help a ton. Yeah, that's sweet.
and
Yeah.
subscribe and save is going to be huge. Like right now, they have it on TikTok right now for some shops. It's slowly rolling out, like I said, but you could get recurring commissions as long as you come to agreement with the brand or agency. That's what the word is going around. That if you come to agreement, you will get recurring commissions, which is insane. Think about it. If you have a viral video and let's just say you make 10 grand for that video, you'll maybe make 2 grand every single month from that video as well,
Yeah, it's awesome.
just from subscribe and save.
What do you think about, the big problem with Amazon is like all these fakes, or like you were talking about the blue light blockers, that's like $5, you're getting some fake thing. Do you think that TikTok shop and the ease of all that kind of thing, does that make it worse or does it make it better for brand like LTV and like that, you're growing your brand? Because I could just knock it off, right? If I can find some
Yeah,
creators that can do it.
yeah, 100%. Which I mean, some people are already. There's $4 mouth tape with free shipping, which I don't know how that's possible because the cheapest shipping you could get is $4 and like 14 cents. So I don't know, but yeah, you could do it. At the end of the day, we know with TikTok, it's all about marketing. Like for that beef tallow evil goods, they're $33, but there's other beef tallow that's I think like $20. But Evil Goods has 200K plus units sold. The other ones have maybe 50K, 100K, which is still a lot. But I mean, you're talking about a pretty big difference, and that price difference is insane. Think about it. They're getting an extra $10 in revenue every single sale. I mean,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
also think
maybe.
it's
Go ahead.
my bad, Drew. I also think that it's great having so much of these lower products because it shows you the quality, right? Like a customer could see something that's worth $5, but they see something else that's worth $20. They start questioning, is this $5 one even worth it, right? Like maybe I'll spend $5, but I'm probably gonna have to buy it again just because it's gonna break or the material's shit or something like that.
Yeah. So I guess it does if you're like if it's it's way more marketing oriented than Amazon. Amazon's more like just PPC, right? So I
Yeah.
guess it does make it harder for you to just have a fake brand because then you'd have to rip off the marketing, which is a creative process. So you can't just push money into something and just make it work on TikTok. Like you
Yeah,
said,
it's
there's
impossible.
15-year-olds that can make it work. So how would a brand even be able to do that? So maybe it does make it even more of a fair playing field.
Oh yeah, the playing field is insanely fair right now, dude. Like you could be a really small brand and just kill it and like kill all these 8 figure, 9 figure brands in the same marketplace as you. which we've seen already. Like I keep going back on Evil Goods, but it's because like they're pretty much bootstrapped and they did everything themselves. But they started on Amazon, so I can't really say that TikTok pushed them. But there's like micro ingredients, for example. They started on TikTok. Now they're huge on Amazon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We got John.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I guess you've never sold on both Amazon and TikTok. I was going to ask like about the volume, but I do think the volume on TikTok will be there for certain products, just because like I go on TikTok every day.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, like people buying, it's a big gap. But if you could launch on both, I mean, you get this natural spillover, you get that organic ranking without having to spend PPC. The reason why all these companies love Amazon is because they get a direct return, right? They're okay, we're gonna allocate 10K a day on ads, and we could see our return. Unlike TikTok, that you can't really see a return. You just kind of have to place a bet and place a bet on like someone's creativity.
Yeah. I guess Amazon's more just like, yeah, put it in and play and hope for the best. And yeah, it's interesting. What else do we have? I'm kind of curious about your viral video situation stuff. So like,
I am too.
yeah. So walk through that a bit. Well, you said the video was like a slideshow. Did you ever make one where you were like a talking head video or something like that ended up going viral?
Yeah, let me think. The ones that have over 1 million. It's funny too because I went viral like probably have I think 15 or 20 videos over 1 million, around like the 4 or 5 million view range, and some of them like made me maybe $100. So at the end of the day, like you still have to make a viral video, but just trying to go viral won't really convert because you have to focus on like the whole funnel of everything, right? Top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. But talking head, I feel like I'm good at yapping and storytelling. I get a good amount of views with that. But it's just a creativity. Like if you feel like you're creative, which I think everybody is, it's just being unlocked, to be honest, because obviously a job doesn't allow you to be creative because you kind of have a set structure on what to do, hours wise, and just your task. So TikTok is great because it just lets you be free, in my honest opinion. So if like you're really creative, like you're gonna print, which you've seen like from young people, from older people. It doesn't matter how old you are, and the investment's almost nothing. I mean, it's $400 for an account, 400 or 500, and if you already have an account, no investment needed.
Do you think it's the best way for people to start making money online? Is TikTok?
100%. I could, if you put in 40 hours a week, like a regular job, I don't see how you won't make 5K your first month.
First month.
Yeah.
That's a big claim. That's good. I don't know what else you got, John.
So for those videos that you got, that is interesting because I think a lot of people. I actually saw someone that I wanted to ask on the podcast, and I was watching one of their YouTube videos. I like to like kind of vet a little before I ask, and they were just like, and I was like, heard this said, and they said, I did X amount on this platform. I'm not going to give it away, but I do above at what the normal person will do. So it's basically just like I have above average results because I put in above average work. And I was like, that's a really good way to put it and like kind of put yourself away from that. And I do think that's funny, right? Because like a lot of people will be like, well, he, went viral. It's easy to go viral, right? But you were like, well, if you did 40 hours a week, like most people conceptually, one may not be able to do that because they have a full-time job and that's fine. But you could probably scrape that together like 40 hours a week if you really got creative, depending on what you have going on. For the viral videos, did you have any inkling that you'd be like, all right, this is going to crush and get 1 million views? Or was it just like, oh, wow, that's insane?
I wish I could lie to you and say, oh, yeah, I already knew from the jump, to be honest, because I didn't. Obviously, I had a, like, every video I posted ever since back then, I always felt confident in, right? Like, I don't really make bullshit videos. I try not to, at least. So I felt confident in it, but I didn't expect the results that it gave me, especially back then. Like, back then, conversion was a lot higher. It was, I'm not going to say easier because there was less people doing affiliate. But like now it's more insane when someone does 100K a month because you're just like, dude, conversions are a little lower now. So I was like, holy fuck, you did it too? Like, especially when it's like low commission type of product.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the saturation of that stuff, and like my issue, I guess, with the future of the TikTok shop stuff is like the sales process, people being aware, because the reason it works and the reason you popped off like that probably is people didn't know they were getting sold to until they were already buying the thing. Do you think that will go it'll be tougher over time, or maybe even people are like, well, I just know everything I'm watching is an ad, so they just won't even really care. Do you ever worry
I
about that?
think it will get harder, but you'll get better. That's why
Okay.
I preach on, and I want to touch a little bit more on like the inputs because when you say inputs, more some people think about just more volume and more time, but that doesn't mean more inputs. More inputs could be like let's just say you're posting 10 videos a day. Maybe you increase your inputs by only posting one video a day, but you put more time in that one video or more effort. I would say not even time because some people might look at a viral video and be like, "Damn, they got lucky." But you don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it involves creativity. If you never thought about making a video like this, that means they involved their creativity because you never thought about it. It was not a basic video.
The best video I have, I think, on TikTok. One was it was actually one of the first three I did. I got totally lucky. And it was basically because I think it has like almost 20K views. It was
Damn.
because I like misspoke. It was like I was eating something and it was just like, it's like, this has 5 calories. And I was like, no, it has 10 calories. And then like, that's what kind of did that. But the other two videos I have, I think one has like 5K views and the other one has 10K. Those videos took like probably like 4 hours, like not like a hard 4 hours, but like a lot of different angles and going through all
Yeah.
the footage. And I was like, wow, like this does take a lot of work. But then it's like, well, I made like 30 other videos where it took like 30, 40 seconds and got nowhere near those results. So maybe it is like kind of like a quality thing and it is worth to kind of like put in that time. I guess what would you I guess there's probably, well, I talk to people all the time, a lot of people on Amazon looking for other options. What would be like your game plan for them? Like, if they don't really know, let's just say they could get a TikTok account and they could get it monetized. Like, what are the next steps or what would you recommend them do? Like, product selection, time in, time out? Like, what would be your game plan?
I would tell them look at the viral videos every single week. There's softwares for that. There's Calo Data. There's FastMoss. Look at the most viral videos every single week and just try to take inspiration from them. You could say it's copying, quote unquote, but if you copy a format but put your own twist to it, at the end of the day, it's your original video. And I would say you could do both. You could easily do both. Like I mentioned, I have a friend that's our top affiliate pretty much, and he does 200 to 300K months on Amazon, and he's 20. And he still, I mean, does consistent 4 to 5K months on TikTok. I think his highest month was 20K on TikTok.
That's impressive. Yeah. So,
So
what about what makes a good video? Well, what's your breakdown of like, I'm probably going to start this soon. I was talking to John about it. TikTok shop's probably going to be my like next step of moving locations. I want to do it. So, what makes a good video? Where do I start? Where do I go?
obviously the hook. It's I want to go back on what John was saying that he misspoke. I think that's amazing because doing little fuck ups like that is great, like misspelling a word or let's just say saying something wrong. It's great because it's rage bait. At the end of the day, you want people commenting, you want people liking, you want people watching the full video. Even if those people aren't buying, it'll get pushed out to more people because how TikTok works, it's just groups. So it gets pushed out to 300 and it gets pushed out to 1,000 and it keeps going. As long as you're getting good retention time, good likes, good comments, good saves, good shares. But obviously, the hook is the main thing. If you're a good storyteller, I think you're always going to print. Right now, we're kind of in a TikTok recession. There's not like a format that's working for everybody right now. About a month, like I would say 2, 3 months ago, there was a format that's called conspiracy. So it's like this guy right here, and they put like a picture of Dana White or something like that, or Trump was big. They're kind of shutting those videos down. They closed down one of the top accounts for that type of video style. So right now we kind of don't know like a viral style that's working, but storytelling is always going to work. If you capture the attention of people, you're going to print money, in my honest opinion.
So give a little example. I know this is probably going to be a bit difficult, but let's say you don't have to like be
Or explain a
bombastic.
hook to everyone too. I don't know if everyone knows what that is.
So a
Yeah.
hook could be this. So let's just say, let's see. My mom couldn't shut the fuck up. So like, that could be a hook, and me moving the camera is a hook too, right? Because the background's always moving. So if you're gonna be storytelling, always try to have the background moving. Because if you're just in one place talking like this, it gets kind of boring. The people get bored just watching the same thing. So that's a hook. Moving around to hook. There's multiple ways of a different hook, and obviously, like you kind of have to be borderline disrespectful sometimes. Like that one I said, like my mom can't shut the fuck up. Like I'm never gonna tell my mom that, obviously, right? So if she sees that, God forbid, you know. But you can say stuff like that, and that would be great for mouth tape because you're like, oh, I tried mouth tape, this, and that.
Okay, that was what I was
That's a
going to
good
ask.
one
Okay,
too,
so
because
that's
yeah,
your first.
it caught me off guard. That I was like, why?
And you want to keep watching, right? Even maybe you won't buy, but it'll get pushed out hopefully.
So what's the next, like, what let's say, make like a little script here. So
All right, let's see.
first
I'll
you
make
have
the
that
entire
one.
video.
Yeah, and then what?
All right, so I was like, my mom can't shut the fuck up. I swear to God, every time she's talking, I try to tell her to put this on, and she just doesn't shut up. And I don't know why. This thing's only $10. Who wouldn't use this? Like, who doesn't want better sleep? Who doesn't want REM sleep or something like that? Brands are charging $50 for this shit. Who the hell is going to pay that? I don't know. I'm going to be linking it down below. They're always sold out, though, so if you still see that orange cart, you got lucky. That's pretty much, let's just say, a quick video.
That was good,
breakdown.
man.
That's good.
That's going to be the intro of the video.
Oh, that's
good.
funny. But I mean, yeah, building at the end, obviously you always want to have a good call to action. And I like it, I like to make it personal. So as you see right there, I was like, if you still see that orange cart, it's kind of personal because I'm emphasizing or I'm saying that like sometimes it's sold out, even though let's just say it's never sold out, but the viewer will see like, okay, I see the orange cart. That means, hey, I got lucky. Let me actually buy it or let me check it out.
Yeah, that's sweet. That was pretty. You're fast. So you just like you never shut the fuck up. Really, you're just
Oh
going.
yeah, fuck no.
No blank space. And then do you do a lot of editing with these videos?
Honestly, I don't. I hate to do cuts. That's why I've been trying to like work on like the moving, just because I feel like I'm good. Like I said, I feel like I'm good at yapping, good at storytelling. I could get better, but I feel that's what I'm good at. So I could just keep on lying and lying and lying and just tell the whole story. You know?
Interesting. So no, you don't. Not even cuts. Not even the little like whatever they're. Wow.
Nah,
Do
I
you
try
use
not to at least.
do you use an iPhone or you use a DJ Osmo?
Now I use my iPhone. It's a lot easier. I feel like quality wise, people know what they're looking at. So if I do a DJI, they'll be like, okay, it's a little higher quality. It might be an ad. But if you do like my friend has like the Meta glasses, you can kind of tell it's really shit quality. So it's like fuck. So I think iPhone's like the sweet spot.
Interesting. Hey, did you say you were going to start doing this again? Start making the videos again?
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing it again. I'm actually gonna try to do a challenge. I'm gonna do a live challenge and a video challenge. I'll make those accounts public and everything. So it's gonna be pretty great. Let's see if I can
Not
do
for
it
your
again.
brand, for random stuff.
Yeah, just for random stuff. Probably for my brand too, just because
Okay.
obviously it benefits me. But yeah, for anybody that wants to start, I think it's the best process. Start as an affiliate so you can learn the marketing aspect, and at that point, you're able to teach it, and your brand will just kill it, in my opinion.
What about the lives? So I went live on one, made like $40 or whatever, but I couldn't talk afterwards because you really can't stop, or the viewers just drop. So talk a bit on the lives now, because you said you
Man,
started doing that, right?
yeah, I started with that. Obviously, back then, I would say it was a little better. So there's a viral product. The top single SKU item sold on TikTok is a 15-day gut cleanse. I don't know how. It was just so early. It's shit branding. It looks horrible, but it has like 2.5 million units sold, which is insane.
Wow.
And I started off with that, then I moved on to Shilajit. But dude, I don't know how I did it. Like, I think the longest live I did was 6 hours. I don't know how I went on for that long. Like, just because you're right, you always got to be saying the same thing. You're repeating pretty much three statements back to back. It's like, hey, get this now, guys. Hey, get this now, guys, because people are cycling on your live. Pretty much every 2 to 5 seconds, there's new people. Even if you only got 5 viewers, think about those five viewers getting cycled every 5 seconds. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's funny that it was a shoe legit because someone pitched me to do a shoe legit and they wanted to pay like $3,000, but they were like, you got to go live.
Oh,
I think it
fuck.
was almost like every day for like two
Yeah.
hours. They're like, I was like, I don't know, like I don't know anything about it. And they sent me a sample and I opened it up. It was like the tar, and I was like, this
Yeah.
smells so bad. I was like, I can't do this.
How much did you make live streaming? What
In
was your biggest live?
total, in total, I think I probably made maybe 12,000
That's not bad.
in 3 months. I think the first month I did 5K and I started slowing down a little bit because I was still doing Amazon at that time.
But what was the
Yeah, because
switch
I
off
was
from Amazon?
the switch off was honestly to increase the fees. It wasn't about like the huge month I had or something like that. It was just the increase of fees. The stuff I was buying just wasn't profitable anymore, and like everybody was getting shut down too for just inauthenticity claims or IPs. And I was like, I haven't got hit yet. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk my Amazon account, so I just stopped entirely. Pretty much took a bet, which I like because I took the bet, then I started being in the R&D phase for the brand I launched. So let me just focus everything on that.
Yeah,
Maybe talk about that a little because I know a lot of people like kind of talk to me privately in the DMs and they're kind of like on the fence about is it good, is it bad, like you just see all these different things. And I mean, me and Drew have been there where you become this person, you're like, well, I sell on Amazon, that's what I do, and it's like hard
Yeah.
to envision your like another life or to take like a bigger bet. So like kind of what was going through your head and like what kind of made you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this.
Honestly, I've always loved Amazon. I just love the simplicity of it. Like, hey, I could buy something and get a 30% return, and I don't have to market it. I don't have to do nothing. I could just be on my computer all day. I love it. Sounds amazing, to be honest. Now, what switched it off for me was obviously like just competition started getting worse. I started importing, so like my documents passed, but still, I still questioned it. Right? I was like, maybe one day Amazon wakes up and be like, hey, we're not gonna accept it, and now I'm screwed, which did happen at the end of the day. Like I got removed from a brand and I had like 15K worth, which is not a lot at the end of the day, but still good chunk of my money, I would say. And I lost, I think, 8,000 on that because they had to return it. I had to pay that, and I also had to sell that at a loss. But the whole switch off, to be honest, was just me trying out new business. I tried KDP, I tried AIP. I had decent success with AIP. I did like a 3K month was the highest month, and KDP not huge success. I probably made a total of like $800, and I invested like 2,000. I want to say I have like $4 right now, but not huge success with everything I was trying. I would just say it was because I had great success with TikTok, and I wish I started sooner, like putting my full force because I started a whole year ago. Like I think I should be far more ahead than what I'm at now, to be honest. If I would actually put like the full force.
Yeah. Well, only a year and all this stuff. You've
Yeah,
only
just
started a year ago.
yeah. I started back in March, so it's been like an entire year.
That's not long though. I feel like you haven't been long at all.
True, but the way how everything moves, a year
Yeah,
is pretty much like 3 years now.
yeah, it's interesting your point on that. I don't think many people speak about that. It's like everything's just sped up like 5 times now. It's like the the,
Yeah,
the hot thing's gone tomorrow, and yeah, people know that I guess when it comes to news and stuff. But when it comes to business and stuff, it's the same way.
yeah, exactly. That's why people say like, "Hey, I don't want to start TikTok. I think it's too late," or like, "Hey, it could still get banned," because it still could get banned. I think it gets unlifted in I think next month, right? I think in April or
Yeah.
something like that. But the way I look at it, we could be a month into Instagram affiliate. Like, imagine being a month into TikTok. Like, I just couldn't imagine it. Or a month into Amazon. Like, and it's just the same skill, right? You're just transferring how to go viral on Instagram.
Do
I
you
think
think?
that's one of the biggest takeaways from stuff like this is like when you're talking about like the TikTok going viral and stuff like that, like you once you get that skill, like you could take that anywhere. You could take that TikTok to whatnot to anywhere. Your arbitrage skill, you could take it to eBay,
Yeah,
Walmart, maybe. Yeah, there are other platforms that pop up, but like if you could get attention and drive sales, like you're super valuable in any marketplace, really.
Do you think the Instagram thing will be big?
I honestly think it will just because people trust Instagram more than TikTok. People are more prone to buy on Instagram. Once they build out their whole system, their whole infrastructure on actually completing the purchase, I think it'll be amazing. It all just depends on like if their commission percentage is actually going to be great. Because it could be like an Amazon, right? Like AIP commission percentage is horrible. It's like 3 or 5%. Like that's terrible. There's brands over here giving 30, 40%. Like,
Yeah, but are they partnered with Amazon? I think Instagram and Amazon might be together with this. I think.
uh, I don't know because I thought Amazon signed like a partnership with TikTok.
Oh, maybe they
I
did.
I think
yeah,
it
they
was with
did, but
TikTok.
yeah, they did, but they still haven't announced like how it's gonna work. But who
That's why,
knows?
because Amazon was pushing vertical videos. They did like a whole, well, you can't really talk about it, what the promotion was, but basically they were like, if you make vertical videos, we were going to give you X something. And basically it was to test the integration because supposedly if you had a setting turned on, they were going to run your vertical videos that you posted on the listings in TikTok as ads, and then if they bought
Yeah,
on Amazon, you get a kickback or an extra kickback rather. I don't really know that because that was like really hot, and that was the big buzz. But I haven't heard much about it, so I don't know if they did it or what the deal is, or if they're still doing it.
yeah, I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
know. I thought they signed something, but
Yeah. Well, man, been around an hour. This has been very value packed, and also I think you might think you're behind, but I think you're very ahead for only being in a year. That's extremely impressive. But do you have any parting words for the people, or John? Do you have any last questions or anything? Sorry, I skipped over. But yeah, any parting words? What would you tell anybody right now? We have a mostly Amazon audience probably, so you can cater to that.
well, I'll say just be open minded, right? You could also say like, hey, my competition is leaving Amazon, so it leaves more money for me. But just think about longevity. Think about, hey, like, what do you want? Do you just want like a consistent job? Because in my opinion, Amazon's a job. You're not going to be able to sell it, being realistic. So if you want to try something new, you can start with TikTok. Start as an affiliate. You don't have to invest in nothing. Just a little bit of time. learn a skill, then you could eventually branch into private label, or you could just jump into private label. There's a ton of courses out there which are great. It could help you out. But I think be open minded. I feel like a lot of people aren't open minded. I'm always open minded to trying new stuff. When someone's killing in something, I'm always just talking to them, trying to pick their brain, just because the business you're doing is not going to be the best business. It's like how Alex Ramosi says, the business you start is not going to be the final business.
Great. Where do people find you?
Varocreates on everything. I think I'm on X. I'm still a rookie, so
And plug your
follow
mouth
me.
tape.
Oh yeah, my mouth tape. It's called Snore. If you want to promote it, you get 20% commission. Pretty good. It's a bundle pack, easy to sell. And also, if you want to get a retainer, if you're a TikTok shop affiliate, feel free to log in to Surgify. It's a software that I'm partnered with. They're pretty great. They give out retainers, and there's a ton of brands in there. They're top 100 TikTok brands, so get paid.
Awesome.
Sweet. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Go follow him and like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
See you, Manny.